अन्य सांख्येन योगेन कर्मयोगेन चापरे ध्यानेन आत्मनि पश्यन्ति केचित् आत्मनम् आत्मना अन्य सांख्येन योगेन कर्मयोगेन चापरे ध्यानेन आत्मनि पश्यन्ति केचित् आत्मनम् आत्मना अन्य सांख्येन योगेन कर्मयोगेन चापरे ध्यानेन by meditation atmani self pashyanti see kechit one atmanam super soul atmana by the mind anye others sankhena by philosophical discussion yogen by the yoga system karma yogena by activities without fruitive desire also apare others. By meditation, self see one super soul by the mind, others by philosophical discussion, by the yoga system, by activities without fruitive desire, also others. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. That super soul is pursued by some through meditation, by some through the cultivation of knowledge, and by others through working without fruitive desire. Purport. The Lord informs Arjuna that the conditioned soul can be divided into two classes as far as man's search for self-realization is concerned. Those who are atheists, agnostics, and skeptics are beyond the sense of spiritual understanding. But there are others who are faithful in their understanding of spiritual life, and they are called workers who have renounced fruitive results. Those who always try to establish the doctrine of monism are also counted among the atheists and agnostics. In other words, only the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are really capable of spiritual understanding because they understand that beyond this material nature, there is the spiritual world and the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is expanded as the Paramatma, the super soul in everyone, the all-pervading Godhead. Of course, there are those who try to understand the Supreme Absolute Truth by cultivation of knowledge, and they can be counted in the second class. The atheistic philosophers analyze this material world into 24 elements, and they place the individual soul as the 25th item. When they are able to understand the nature of the individual soul to be transcendental to the material elements, they are able to understand also that above the individual soul, there is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the 26th element. Thus, gradually, they also come to understand to the standard of devotional service in Krishna consciousness. Those who work without fruitive results are also perfect in their attitude. They are given a chance to advance to the platform of devotional service in Krishna consciousness. Here it is stated that there are some people who are pure in consciousness and who try to find out the super soul by meditation. And when they discover the super soul within themselves, they become transcendentally situated. Similarly, there are others who also try to understand the Supreme Soul by cultivation of knowledge, and there are others who cultivate the Hatha Yoga system and who try to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by childish activities. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. So my realization from this particular verse is, here in a Purport Srila Prabhupada says that everyone is trying to understand the same truth, that is the super soul Paramatma, but the methods, process are different. Some trying by meditation, that is dhyana yoga. Some study and analyze, that is jnana or sankhya yoga, and some act in devotion and the duty, that is karma yoga. So still ultimately their aim is to ultimately lead to Krishna consciousness, the understanding that the Krishna is the supreme soul. This all processes, Srila Prabhupada says, that are meant for the purification. Each yoga processes helps us to become purified from material contamination. But when we come to the stage of bhakti, loving service to Krishna, then the realization becomes complete and joyful. Srila Prabhupada also mentioned that the real meditation is to see Krishna in the heart. That one must meditate the super soul means to see Krishna within our heart. In Kali Yuga, the practice process is introduced. The process is hearing and chanting. The Sankirtana movement is introduced and given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Prabhupada clearly says that the meditation and Jnana Yoga are very difficult because it's the Kali Yuga. The people are disturbed and they are restless. So therefore, easiest way is Bhakti Yoga, and to hear and chant Hare Krishna mantra sincerely. So by chanting Hare Krishna, one can directly pursue the Supreme within heart. And Maharaj explained that the Dhyana Atmani Prashanti means we must focus the mind inwards but not outward. The more we control our senses and listen to Krishna Katha, the more we experience Krishna within. So when the mind is peaceful through hearing and chanting, the Lord reveals himself in the heart. Maharaj also further says that our problem is that we are always looking outside for our satisfaction for material things. But the Lord is inside. So look inside through bhakti and you will see him smiling. So to understand from this verse is that to always remember Krishna, even we are working, whether we are working for materialist things, but offer results to Lord. Hear about daily, one must hear about the Krishna Katha and purify our mind. That is also in a way it's a meditation and it's a practice. And chant sincerely. That is Srila Prabhupada says that is a meditation in Kali Yuga. Srila Prabhupada also says that all this what paths ultimately lead to Krishna, although the process are different, but the goal is one. The realization of the super soul Vishnu. The yogis meditate on him. The philosopher analyzes his energy, and the karma yoga work for his satisfaction. So Prabhupada is teaching us that to sincerely practice in any of these yogas purifies us and brings us to the stage of Bhakti Yoga, where we naturally see Krishna everywhere. In this Kali age, what we see that Bhakti Yoga is the most practical, because this is possible for every people and all the age. So the best meditation is to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and always think of the Lord. We may be able to sit silently for hours for meditation like ancient yogis, but that is not possible in this yoga. So by chanting Hare Krishna sincerely, we achieve the same goal, seeing the Krishna within. Also, I found that another Mahavishnu Goswami, Mahavishnu Goswami says that when the mind is peaceful and humble, the super soul automatically become visible within, because the Lord is always there. Only the dust of the desire covers our vision. So if we clean our heart by hearing, chanting, and honest living, we can feel Krishna's presence inside. So bhakti is the only real meditation that works in all situations. Um, this also relates to, I found in Bhagavad Gita chapter 6, verse 36, which Amrish Prabhu share in our WhatsApp group. Thereby, Srila Prabhupada says that yoga may be beneficial from the material point of view, but it is all fertile as far as the self-realization is concerned. Therefore, a person should constantly engage his mind in the divine love and devotion of God and subdue him. It is impossible to stabilize the mind without being engaged in Krishna consciousness. A person who is Krishna consciousness can easily get the fruit of practicing yoga without any extra effort. But the person who practices yoga does not get success without being Krishna consciousness. So, what I understand, my realization from this particular is that the hearing, one must hear and then chant the Krishna, hearing the Krishna Katha, work without desire, and by way that you can purify the heart and see the Lord in our heart, chanting seriously, sincerely, and whatever you're doing it, everything you offer for Krishna. That is the simple and complete method. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhuji, for His Pan Pragya Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarpan Krishna Prabhu for training us and actually study and share our realization on this Bhagavad Gita verses. And thank you, Sopan Prabhuji, for your realization on this verse. Dhyane natmani pashanti kechid atmanam atmana anne Sankhena yogena karma yogena chapare. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Some perceive super soul within themselves through meditation, others through the cultivation of knowledge, and still others through working without fruitive desires. So here actually is quite bit technical verse. And so far, what we discuss now, Krishna is actually describe the there are other ways through which one can actually realize the super soul within themselves. So here, Srila Prabhupada in his purport is talking about the two classes of men. So one is actually uh, the faithless and the faithful class. So the atheist, agnostic, and skeptics. So basically, they lack any shraddha, faith. So there is no way they can actually understand this. Actually, have any actually understanding of this actually spiritual knowledge. And the within the actually the faithful class here, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning there is a introspective devotees. So basically talking about the yogis. So as Sopan Prabhu also mentioned, is dhyan yogis. Then there is a philosophers. So Sankhya philosophy, uh, and all you can also call jnana yogis, and the workers who have renounced the fruitive results, so karma yogis. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that he also make a mention of the actually the one who established the doctrine of monism. They're also actually counted among the atheists or agnostics. They are not in the faithless class, which is interesting. So, however, actually, Srila Prabhupada making statement that the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are best situated in spiritual understanding, because they understand that beyond this material nature, there is a spiritual world and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's expanded as a Paramatma, super soul in everyone, the all pervading Godhead. So here, so far in the previous verses, we actually studied, how actually Krishna is present in the heart of everyone as a super soul, as a Paramatma. And here, actually, just talking about these three classes of men. So I was actually just thinking, actually, the understanding or actually realizing the Paramatma through these processes. So, as a dhyana yoga, actually, yogis that actually they have to meditate, their consciousness has to be also pure. I heard the lecture of Srila Prabhupada where Srila Prabhupada mentioned, actually, this yogic system, actually, even to actually sit at one place, by following all this actually yam and niyams. One has to sit straight, actually, with his eyes half closed, actually focusing on the tip of his nose. So all these actually, when you look at the process itself, that it is not very practical for us in this Kali Yuga. First of all, we don't have that much time. Also patience, and also the physical ability to do so. It's not very practical, as it has always been actually mentioned in Kali Yuga. So that is not really actually that's something we can actually even endeavor to do so. However, one who can do it, Srila Prabhupada did mention, may be possible for any very few people, it's quite rare. They may able to do it, but it's not actually for the general mass of people. So the second class is actually the philosophers or Sankhya yogis. So it's a very technical analytical study. They actually involve into the analyzing these material elements. There's about 24 elements, and they also realize that the soul as Atma is above these material elements. And Srila Prabhupada also mentioning is the Supreme Personality Godhead comes as the 26th element, because above the soul there is a super soul. So this actually Jnana yogis or Sankhya yogis, the Srila Prabhupada says that they can actually progress. So ultimately they have to actually evolve themselves to the stage where they can come to the stage where they can actually render the loving devotional service unto the Lord. Otherwise, it's they're not really progressing. So this is dhyana yogis and the karma yogis. So one who work without fruitive results. Srila Prabhupada said they are perfect in their attitude. So, so yes, actually, I remember our discussion in chapter 2, where we studied the verse, chapter 247, where it says that कर्मणि एव अधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मम कर्म फल हेतुर्वर माते संगस्तु कर्मणि. You have the right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruit of action. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the result of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. So within even actually this Bhakti Yoga process, that we always been actually instructed that we should not be attached to the fruits of our actually actions, or we should not ever consider that we are the actually doer. But however, actually it is very, very hard to practically implement this instruction, that because whenever we do any action, there is always in our mind, there is a result. We're already attached to the result, and if we do not able to actually achieve that result, then we become actually frustrated. So actually to do something or achieve something without being attached to the result is very hard, but still actually one actually is been actually instructed that one has to actually do this. So we always say that leave the result to the Krishna. We should not be attached, but we should do our duties immaculately well. So actually, not being attached to the result does not mean that we can just do the work, without any care. That is not actually the correct understanding. That we have to put all our efforts. We have to make sure that we achieve the result, but we should not be attached. So it should be actually left to the Krishna. We may achieve it, we may not achieve it. So whatever the result, actually, there is actually Krishna's decision, and we should be happy with the both the outcomes. So one who can able to do this, then he's not attached to that actually result, and thus he's not attached to the action. Then we are not actually being we do not actually bound by the result of that actually action. So we what is called karma bandhan. So that is already actually one of the important instruction even in the bhakti yoga. So here the karma yogis, if they are actually following this path of not actually being attached to the results, so Srila Prabhupada is mentioning their attitude is actually perfect, and they can actually advance to the stage of devotional service, where they can render service to the Krishna. So here, actually looking at the three classes still, that for us, and actually when for particularly just thinking about my own situation, that I did not go through any of these processes. I'm directly actually introduced to the Bhakti Yoga process. That the first time we come, we have been told that to start chanting. Just add Krishna in your life. So that was the first instruction. So chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And initially, actually, I remember Amrishu told us just add Krishna. You don't need to actually stop doing anything or add anything. Just do this, and everything will fall in place. So initially, I had my doubts. Actually, how come just chanting this mantra that all things will become actually congenial or actually favorable, that I can actually progress on this path. But that happened. So actually, this process itself, as we say, the process that we're currently following, that is going to be the end. So we are doing chanting now, but our chanting is not very pure. It's quite. We are committing a lot of offenses as we chant, but we'll slowly progress as we slowly purify our consciousness. Then we'll get to the stage of actually pure chanting. So especially for this Kali Yuga, as it is Srila Prabhupada always state that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has actually himself instructed that there is no other way, in this Kali Yuga, but to chant this holy mantra. So this is actually a Bhakti Yoga process that actually Krishna has appeared in this Kali Yuga as a Namarup. So we have to actually have a firm belief and actually engage ourselves in actually in chanting and remembering Krishna, and actually try to actually engage ourselves in actually doing various devotional services, under the guidance of our spiritual master. So that will actually is going to help us in progressing in this Kali Yuga, and which is actually easiest process, when I actually compare to these three processes which I actually mentioned. Because even actually the philosophers actually, Srila Prabhupada always state that by just mental speculation, it is very hard to actually understand Krishna. That Srila Prabhupada says that even you actually speculate for thousands of years, that even you will not even come near to understanding, that even the actually smallest fraction of Krishna. So those processes are actually very cumbersome, very difficult to actually practically implement or practically adopt in this Kali Yuga. So the most recommended, actually, the system, this Bhakti Yoga is perfect for us, and actually, this process actually bring us very close to Krishna. So if you have the actually firm faith and if you follow this instruction, then as Srila Prabhupada says that one has to be sincere, and he need to have little intelligence, and he can become Krishna conscious within seconds. But actually, that actually sincerity has to be there, and he has to use his intelligence. That is the only condition mentioned. So I actually read this instruction, but actually, actually to implement that practically is the actually very hard task. One who can do it, they can become Krishna conscious within second. Or Srila Prabhupada says that it can take millions of years, millions of births to get to the same stage. So that is what I actually understood while meditating on this verse. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Um, Hare Krishna, Amish Prabhuji. I just wanted to ask you, can I share the realization? I mean, the question you have asked last week, now or later, Prabhuji?
No, now it's best. Thank you, Mother.
First, thank you, His Grace Amish Prabhuji, Her Grace Purna Pragya Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarpan Krishna Prabhu for conducting these realization classes and giving us opportunity to share our realization. And also, I'm not really eligible for these classes, but kindly you have gave me a permission to be in this class. So from the last class, you have asked a question, Prabhuji, and you asked me to think about it. So I have gone through the last lecture a couple of times, and I try to understand the devotee's realization, also what you wish to say. So if I may be wrong, Prabhuji, please forgive me and just correct me, Prabhuji. So from the last class, the in the conclusion of Purna Pragya Mataji said that that this that the knowledge of the knowledge Srila Prabhupada has given us, given us where everything is available, and we have to be more protective in our source of knowledge, and that way we can make our path easy. So I was thinking about this one. So the how to how to learn, which path is protective, like that. So I remember from Amrish Prabhu's realization or class, that Amrish Prabhu was asking the question, that if the class is the whole world, Srila Prabhupada's class, whole world is listening, and Guru Maharaj's class is everybody is listening, but uh, but why we not got this source before? Mm, so my understanding is that because everyone has different understanding of the knowledge given uh, in Bhagavad Gita, and we should not hanker um, everywhere to get the knowledge. So we should we should learn the knowledge from by our Guru Shishya Parampara. One should be understand, because we need to understand our position, what position we are in. So for me, I'm not much eligible to say anything, or I'm in the learner stage, and so I should follow to my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Amrish Prabhuji and Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. But even though their classes, to understand to their classes also, I'm not that much eligible, because I have no knowledge what should I take from that classes and how should I take from those classes. So I should be dependent on my Shiksha Guru. So I should I should be inquisitive. I should be beg for the knowledge, and I should be beg for a knowledge. So uh, for the main thing I understand is that I should be a very dependent to get the knowledge. Also, Amrish Prabhuji asked the question, if the modes of material nature is affect us, or yes or no. And now I understand the answer, that modes of material nature is, they don't affect us. They don't come to us, like it comes on us because of our previous karmas. And then um, uh, um, so the modes will the way they may affect anyways. And then Prabhuji has mentioned that we need to always remember that we are Vaishnav, and then so because of our past karmas, we may need to do our work as a Vaishya or Shudra or Kshatriya, or whatever our job, that is because of our own karmas, and that we have to do those things, because uh, we have to do that things, but we have to come back to in our devotional service, because we need to be a Vaishnava. So that our main aim is to serve Krishna, and for that also we need to understand our own position. So So, Prabhuji asks as well one question, that how does this knowledge makes you liberated? So that is the thing, is that by understanding our own position, which helps us to understand where we are lacking, and where and how we can progress. We can progress by being dependent. And so so we need to be dependent, and if we read like by our personal endeavor, and in association of with our authority, saintly person and spiritual master, one has to understand his position. So in conclusion, that no matter how the modes are affecting us, we should be understand we should I should understand the my main goal, what is my main goal, and to serve Krishna, and we do our whatever prescribed duties, whatever we need, these material things, we we have to do it, and we should do it and come back to our devotional service. And to do the devotional service, we should go through the Guru Shish Parampara. We should learn from our authorized person only. So we will not be deviated. We will not be distracted from any other things. This is my understanding, Prabhuji. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for last class explaining very nicely. Um, According to my capacity, I tried my best to understand this one. I'm sorry, Prabhuji, if I said anything wrong. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much. Yes, that is good enough. It's entirely up to you. You know, as I said, my business is to make sure that I make everybody start to think. And after some years, when you think, then you are on your own. You can do whatever you want to do. So till the time, I'm very concerned. The person is not thinking, not knowing. So slowly, as you understand the knowledge, this is how it is. How deeper knowledge will be getting if we don't know. You know. So we have to spend that time while cooking. We may not find time to sit in one place quietly and think. So then we must think when we are doing other activities. That's what I do. Even when I'm doing something else, I think of these things, these concepts, how it is, what it is, how does it work, what does it work. Okay? Because chastity is very important. Everybody likes a chaste woman. I can tell you one thing. Chaste woman is always hated by everybody. Completely hated by everybody. Yeah. A chaste woman may be appreciated is one thing, but hated by enviousness. So our chastity is chastity of knowledge. We should be satisfied with what knowledge we have been given, as we discussed last week. And it's very important. It's very, very important. It's very important to be intelligent in bhakti. We cannot remain foolish. And that is the biggest difficulty devotees face when they just want to remain neophytes. And that's not how we are. Okay. So, well, I don't want to say anything about today's class. So we'll conclude today now. Thank you. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Shri Gurudev ki jai. Word to word synonyms, translation and purpose, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Jai God, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.